Everyone. Hope all of you are doing good. So here we have Dr. Vishakha Munjal, who's an experienced gynecologist. She's a senior gynae, a laparoscopic surgeon, and an IVF specialist practicing in Apollo Cradle Hospital and Apollo Spectra Hospital. Ma'am, honor to have you with us. Uh, After your first session, I was flooded with queries. People wanted to ask you so many questions. Thanks for coming, for answering those questions for us. Okay, straight away moving to the questions, ma'am. The first question people want to know that during this pandemic, women are having a lot of stress, anxiety, depression. They're having facing a lot of mental and physical challenges. So, how has the pandemic affected that?
See, people, in particular women, are facing a lot of stress and anxiety during this pandemic. And I, as a medical practitioner, get a lot of calls, a lot of distress calls from women. Women who had plans about their pregnancy, about their fertility, about their medical and surgical issues. All those they cannot follow now. They are not able to see their doctors. They are not able to procure medicines. It is difficult for them to get lab tests done. It is difficult for them to get ultrasounds done. We recommend them to seek teleconsultation these days. And if they are facing it, they should get in touch with their doctors as soon as possible, because a doctor will be able to help them out completely. Able to see your doctor personally. Just teleconsulting will allay you of so much of an anxiety. So that is my advice to women, that please, if you are facing any issues, get in touch with your doctor, teleconsult, and a doctor will be definitely be able to sort out your issue.
Okay, ma'am. Second question which came up was people are very confused about the COVID vaccine. Like there are three vaccines which are there: Sputnik, Covishield, and Covaxin. So, is there any category the government has given, or is there any category that below 30 years this vaccine should be taken, and elderly should be taking this vaccine? Is there anything particular?
Well, the two vaccines that are available in India as of now are Covishield and Covaxin. Sputnik is yet to come. So, as far as the vaccination is concerned, all vaccines are good. All of them are have good efficacy. So, Government of India has not given that liberty to people to decide which vaccine to take. And there is no particular guidelines that this particular age group should be taking this particular vaccine and some other age group should be taking some other vaccine. All the vaccines are good. All the vaccines are effective. Get whatever you are getting. Don't try to choose. Whichever is easily available, you take that. These vaccines, they work on different principles. So they have different efficacy. Well, all said and done, Sputnik has higher efficacy, but it is expensive too. And it is yet to hit the Indian market. Once it comes, we'll see. Covishield works on the same principle as Sputnik. It also has an efficacy ranging between 70 to 90% from various studies, and also it depends upon the duration between the two jabs. So it gives a very good efficacy. Covaxin is our indigenous vaccine. It works on a different principle. This also gives around 79 to 80% protection. So whichever vaccine you are getting, please go ahead and take it.
Okay. Ma'am, and how much gap should be there between the vaccines? And second thing is, if the first time we go and Covishield is available, and second time we go and Covaxin is available, so can we get that done, or we have to take the same vaccine?
Well, there is no evidence supporting that you can take two different vaccines. So please try to stick to one single vaccine. Whatever vaccine you have taken as the first shot, please take the same vaccine as the second shot. Because there have been no studies where two different vaccines. Secondly, the dose interval. Well, when the vaccines came, the initial dose interval that was recommended was 4 to 6 weeks. But as we gained the experience with passage of time, because this infection is also new, so everybody, including the doctors, are learning. So initially, the duration between two vaccines was recommended as 4 to 6. Then gradually they found as you go on increasing the duration between the two vaccines, the efficacy increases. So with Covishield nowadays, the duration that is recommended is 12 to 16 weeks. As far as Sputnik is concerned, it is recommended that it can be taken at an interval of 3 weeks. That is 2 doses, 21 days apart. That is possible only with Sputnik because Sputnik is using 2 different vectors in both the jabs. Its first jab and the second jab are different.
Okay.
So that is why it is also giving good efficacy. So we are also waiting for it to hit the Indian market.
Yeah. Okay, ma'am, the pregnant females are really fearful and they have so many questions. The first question coming up was, can the pregnant and lactating female, can they take vaccines? And can the infection go up to the fetal if the woman is COVID positive?
Well, the first question, whether pregnant and lactating women can take vaccine, they should actually take the vaccine. In the Western world, all the pregnant women are getting vaccines. Till now, Government of India had not recommended vaccination for pregnant women because no studies have been done regarding the safety of vaccines.
Okay.
And the technology of vaccine that we have in India is based on a different principle than the vaccines that are available in the Western world. The Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines are mRNA-based vaccines. So they have been found to be safe during pregnancy and lactation. So earlier the clearance was not given for both the pregnant as well as the lactating women, but of late for lactating women it has been recommended that they can take they can take the vaccine. But as far as pregnant women is concerned, right now the guidelines are not there. We are also waiting for it. We are asking the government because that they should allow the pregnant women because they are more at risk of the COVID infection, the pregnancy being an immunocompromised state. So it is highly recommended as soon as the Government of India approves of vaccination during pregnancy, please all the pregnant women go ahead and take the vaccination.
Okay.
And
And ma'am, can the infection follow to the fetal if the mother is COVID positive?
sorry, the infection?
Ma'am, can the COVID infection, if a mother is COVID positive, can the infection be followed? Can the virus follow up to the fetus? And same with, can a lactating mother, if she's COVID positive, can she feed the baby?
The answer to both the questions are no. There is no evidence suggesting that an infected mother can pass on the infection to her unborn child or to a feeding baby.
Oh.
The virus has not been found either in the amniotic fluid or in the breast milk.
Oh, that's such a big relief for all the women.
Yeah. Even if a woman is COVID positive, she will not pass on the virus to her baby. Well, the chances of complications during pregnancy, they definitely increase. There are higher chances of going into premature labor, of intrauterine growth retardation, and the woman, because of her immunity being compromised, can land up with a more severe infection and a more severe disease. But apart from that, virus directly affecting the unborn fetus, there is no evidence suggesting that, number one. Number two, in lactating women, we do not recommend that they should not be feeding their baby. They should feed their baby. Well, they should follow all COVID appropriate behavior like wearing a mask. And they should, when they are feeding their baby, they should wear a mask, they should wear gloves. They should keep contact with the baby only at the time of feeding. The rest of the time, they should assign somebody else to look after the baby. So the contact between the baby and the mother should be less.
Okay. So only while the mother is feeding, she can take care of the baby. Rest, somebody else should do it.
Yes. In a way, it is important because the mother also needs rest. Anybody with COVID infection, if the mother has recently delivered, women face a lot of fatigue and they get tired very soon. So their energy levels are low, their immunity is low. So the women need to take rest. So somebody else also takes the responsibility of the baby. That would really help that lactating woman.
Right. So it's a relief for the mothers then. Okay. Ma'am,
Yeah,
after after the death of Dr. K.K. Agarwal, there is a lot of stress, there's a lot of anxiety, like after so many doctors, nurses, and medical professionals, they are on ventilators and they've died. So now what people are going for, like the curiosity has started make them getting done the antibody test. So how far is it? Like, should we get it done or should we not go for it? And is if yes, then how many? What is the exact? Is there any safe level of it?
Well, if you take an example of a doctor, the doctors are exposed to a higher viral load than rest of the people, number one, because they are directly in touch with the patients and they are exposed to more viral load. Number two, there is no vaccine which is 100% efficacious. Every vaccine is recommending not more than 90% efficacy. So vaccine does not guarantee you 100% safety against infection. Then, despite of vaccination, one has to follow a COVID appropriate behavior. Then after vaccination, a lot of people, they become complacent as well, that, well, now I am protected. I can go anywhere, I can do anything. That is a wrong practice to follow. And well, everyone has a different response to vaccination. And if a person has some associated comorbidity like diabetes mellitus, if a person is immunocompromised or on certain medication, then those people are more prone to have infection despite vaccination. So people, elderly people and people with some comorbidities or people who are on immunosuppressants, despite of vaccination, they can still get the infection.
Okay. Ma'am, like we have the pregnancy kits and the urine kits are there. So same way ICMR has on 19th May, they had launched a COVID test kit. So how effective it is?
Well, again, I would say it is yet to hit the market. Let it come. I would say if we look at it that way, that you can do the COVID testing at home, it's the ease of use is there. It is of course there. It is almost like doing a home pregnancy test. But the flip side to it is that you have to take the sample yourself. There is a nasal swab available which you have to put inside your nostril and rotate it. It has to be rotated a certain number of times. It can so happen that when you are taking the sample yourself, you may not take it properly. So if the sample is not taken properly, the test is bound to come negative. But having said that, the ease of doing the test is there. People don't have to stand in the queue for getting an RT-PCR done. And people in remote areas or people in villages who do not have access to laboratories, they can very well do these tests at home. So that is the benefit.
And moreover, what was happening is I think the labs were getting so overcrowded that they were taking 4 days to give the reports. So once the kit is there, at least in rural area where people are not wearing mask also, it will be quite convenient.
Yeah. And people can always be taught how to take the sample appropriately.
Right.
So definitely in the long run, it is going to be useful.
Ma'am, one more thing. What is happening is like when we go for if somebody has COVID, what people are like the doctors are doing is they're straight away giving steroids. How right it is to give steroids, and what is exactly the right stage when the steroids should be taken?
Well, it is very harmful to take steroids without medical advice. You should always consult your doctor, and the doctor has to decide whether you need steroids or not. Number one. Number two, steroids are not to be given during first 6 to 7 days of illness, because that is the phase of viral replication. That is the time when the virus is multiplying. So if you take steroids during that phase, in fact, you are helping the virus in multiplying faster. So you are doing more yourself than good. Steroids are to be started with proper medical advice after the 7th day of illness.
Because what happens is like clients, if they have COVID and there's a particular list and people keep on forwarding the list, they prefer doing it themselves
And we also have been seeing that the
Yeah.
prescriptions are being circulated on the WhatsApp.
Yeah.
People are not aware at what phase and in what dosage the steroid to be taken.
Yeah. So
And
you
the
mean to say, so there's a harmful effect if the steroids are taken early.
well, yes, you are helping the virus to replicate faster. Because once you start taking steroids, your immunity is suppressed. So it has to be taken at after a particular day. It has to be taken in appropriate dosage and for an appropriate duration. I have seen people taking steroids for a month or so. That is not recommended at all. First of all, your doctor has to advise what phase it has to be started, in what dose it has to be started, and for what duration it has to be taken. Majority of the time, you need the steroids only for 5 days. Maybe maximum for 10 days, not beyond that. Until and unless your doctor decides that it needs to be continued.
Okay, fine. So I think, ma'am, we have covered major questions of COVID. Any message you want to give to people, or anything you feel that people should follow these norms, and because as COVID is not going to end early, so anything you want to say about it?
Well, yes. Message to people is please go ahead with vaccination whenever or whichever way you can enroll for it and get it. Do not try to choose between vaccines. Do not do self-medication. Always teleconsult with your doctor. Even if you are COVID, don't try to visit the clinic. Don't pressurize your doctor for a personal visit. Always go ahead with a teleconsultation. Follow your doctor's advice properly. And self-medication and taking treatment from WhatsApp groups, please avoid.
Right.
And
through YouTube's also.
please protect yourself. Don't step out of the house. As much as possible, stay at home. Teleconsult with your doctors. Majority of the 80% of the problems can be sorted out at home. For pregnant women, if they are consulting their doctors online, it is very important to keep a regular check of their weight, their blood pressure, and their sugar levels and hemoglobin. If these 4 things they really need to look after, they can get these tests done, keep their doctors in the loop, and as and when required, the doctor can advise them for an ultrasound or, if need be, for a visit. Try to minimize your visits to a doctor. Depend on teleconsultation.
Ma'am, it's safe to do pregnancy during this pandemic?
Well, I won't say that it is unsafe. If you can postpone it, well and good. But if you have conceived, don't be scared of it. Just protect yourself. Don't step out of the house. Follow a COVID appropriate behavior. If you wear a mask, keep a safe distance from people. Whenever you are in a crowded place, you are protecting yourself and your baby. So I think that you can plan a pregnancy. If you can delay it, well and good. But if you are pregnant, or by mistake, if you have got pregnant, you need not be scared. You can always consult your doctor on video consult or on WhatsApp or whichever way.
Fine. Thanks, and Dr. Vishakha Munjal. Now